to express my sincere appreciation to the National Orator of the Day, Reverend Professor Dr. Julius Dorokon Saowolo Nelson Jr. My sincere appreciation to the National Orator of the Day, Reverend Professor Dr. Julius Dorokon Saowolo Nelson Jr., President of the University of Liberia, Reverend Professor Dr. Julius Dorokon Saowolo Nelson Jr., President of the University of Liberia, Reverend Professor Dr. Julius Dorokon Saowolo Nelson Jr., President of the University of Liberia, Reverend Professor Dr. Julius Dorokon Saowolo Nelson Jr., President of the University of Liberia, Saowolo Nelson Jr., President of the University of Liberia, for the magnificent way he expounded on this theme during his essay. My fellow citizens, our unity in diversity and our resilience as a nation has set the foundation for us to deliver peace and prosperity for generations yet unborn. So let us be encouraged and inspired by the immortal words of our beloved national anthem, which are now quote, "A union strong, success is sure. We cannot fail. With God above, our rights to prove, we will over all prevail. Long live Liberia, happy land, a home of glorious liberty, by God's command." Once again, let me use this occasion to wish a happy Independence Day to all citizens at home and abroad. May God bless us all and our beloved Mama Liberia. I thank you.
Good afternoon, and a pleasant welcome to Freedom Hub. We pray today is going to be better. We pray we're going to be here until the end of the show. Too many difficulties for our platform. Too many issues we've been confronted with. But again, with God being on our side, and thankfully to the technical staff here, we're back with the anticipation that we're going to be here till 6 o'clock today. We sincerely apologize. We deeply apologize to all of you, our value followers, and to all of you who always make it your duties to follow this platform on 87.9. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and all of the folks around the world want to say welcome to the weekend's edition. Welcome to the weekend's edition of the program Freedom Hub on 87.9. Today, there are too many issues we're going to talk about. There are several issues to look into. And of course, there is a sinister plan, a very, very diabolical plan. And this is coming from Alex Cummings, his alternative National Congress. We are told we have some document in our possession indicating that the guys are about to spend a little over 180,000 US dollars to a lobby firm to lobby against Liberia. Did you hear that? The guys are about to pay money to an institution for the sole purpose of spoiling the country's name and making Liberia, making this country dangerous in the eyes of our partners. We're going to read you the asset. We're going to read you what we have in our possession. This is to what extent. This is to what extent desperation has gone, especially when the folks from the ANC and their CPP, folks, will do everything possible in dragging the image of our country down to the mud. This is what we have in Liberia. We'll read you that communication as well. We will read you that communication. Seku proposed soiree. You are there at the National Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Commission. Today is your birthday. We want to say happy birthday to you, Seku soiree. He's an ardent follower of Freedom Radio Liberia, and of course, one of the diehard supporters of Freedom Hub on 87.9. I repeat, we're going to be reading you a communication, a statement, exposing a sinister plan by Cummings and the Alternative National Congress when they've decided to pay a firm to tarnish the image of our country, to make the government and people of Liberia unpopular and use that as a means of clinching onto power. We'll equally tell you some of the stuff happening in the country, why it is important that we do the analysis, because we are told, we have been briefed, we have intelligence that bulk of the crimes you see being committed in this country, bulk of the terrible things you see happening are things that people do with the sole purpose of implicating the government and the people of our country. We bring you more details of the development as they unfold right here on the People Station. Like I told you, I hope it is in my mind, anticipation that this identical broadcast is going to reach to the logical conclusion. We've been having power outage, over the period, and I hope this is going to be better. We take few bars of our team song. By the time we come back, the Liberty Party officially informed Mo Ali. The Liberty Party officially wrote Muhammad Ali, telling him, Mo Ali will tell Bwaka it is his time to chair the CPP. Tell Joe Bwaka that the decision by Yomli to just sit on a liquor table at Calabash to single-handedly extend her tenure was not in line with our CPP framework, with specific reference to section 9.3 of the framework document that's supposed to hold the CPP together. So they officially wrote Mo Ali, informing Muhammad Ali that they should start getting prepared. They should start preparing Joe Bwaka to chair the CPP. If his battery is getting weak, if Joe Bwaka's battery is getting weak, there is a need that to go and charge it, get it empowered. If it means Bwaka should be walking around with solar panel on her arm, they should do that. But whether it is going to rain, whether it is going to have a sunny moment, whatever the case is, or whatever the case may be, the Liberty Party is saying to the rest of the CPP, especially to the Unity Party, that Joe Bwaka should serve as tenure. Each of the political leaders supposed to serve as chairperson of the collaborating political parties for a constitutional period of not 10 months, but 8 months. It should be rotational, and no single chairman can have more than 8 months in succession. I repeat, no single political leader can have more than 8 months, and I mean 2 consecutive terms is not possible. Once your first 8 months is over, you are allowed to leave to pave the way for the next person. And so the Liberal Party is saying to the people in the CPP and the country as a whole that the decision I was taking on a liquor table, on the Kinju table at Calabash, was just a decision I was taken by 4 individuals who thought it wise to go and merrymake. In their opinion, like I'm going to paraphrase as a political commentator, that decision was made by 3 men and 1 woman. 3 men, 1 woman around Kinju table was triggered by and influenced by the environment. It was far-fetched. It was far from the constitutional timeline and the constitutional requirement as contained in Section 9.3 of the CPP framework document. Big news, terrible news, discouraging news, as a matter of fact. The CPP's constituent party, ANC, is on a dangerous mission to spoil the image of our country. They prepared $180,000 as lobbyist fee to pay those who will be doing the lobbying for them for the sole purpose of tarnishing the image of our country. We bring you more details of that when we take a few bars of our team song. Okay, so welcome back to the program Freedom Hub on 87.9, the official voice of Freedom Communications Incorporated. So today we have a very, very power-packed presentation, especially when Liberia is about, to receive good news, when a lot of good things, will soon locate our country. And in the midst of it all, there are plans by those who don't want to see this country move forward in pushing us back as a people. And so today we will look into a very serious, and I repeat, today we're going to be looking at a very serious issue in country. There is an article here. And this particular info was released from a very, very credible source. I'm not going to disclose that source. But here is it. I'm gonna give you bits and pieces of the information. So there is a group in Liberia called the Liberian Renaissance Office Incorporated. It is LIRO. It is a newly formed outfit in Monrovia. And this firm, fellow Liberians, was able to hire a long-time African lobbyist and an ex-war crimes prosecutor who helped to put away former President Taylor to head the effort. What is the effort? To lobby against the Republic of Liberia in the US and other places at a fees of $180,000. This is from the CPP and the ANC. It is busted. Brand new information. So Washington Advocacy Frame, the BW Global Group, signed a 6-month contract with Grisby on the 15th of August. By the way, Grisby is the one who was hired by Leroy, the Liberian Renaissance office in Monrovia. They hired Grisby, to be their man. But let me read you the entire stuff. I don't want to peek into it. Let me read you the entire stuff. CPP and Alexander Cummings to spend millions to lobby to destroy the image of the very country they want to provide leadership for. So critics of Liberian President George Weah have launched a $180,000 lobbying and public relations campaign to court U.S. support for the opposition. There's an amount they've launched to convince the United States to support the CPP, to support the opposition. The Liberian Renaissance office in Monrovia, Leroy, a newly formed outfit in Monrovia, has hired a long-time African lobbyist and an ex-war crimes prosecutor who helped to put away former President Taylor to head the efforts. So as a way to do that, they hired a long-time African lobbyist and an ex-war crimes prosecutor who helped to put, so the man who helped to put Chandra in jail are the man they hire to do the lobbying for them. The Liberian office is led by Sylvester Grisby. There's a guy called Sylvester Grisby, a minister of state for presidential affairs under the Ellens administration. So they hired Sylvester Grisby, who was at the time the minister of state for presidential affairs under the Ellens administration. Washington Advocacy Frame, the BW Global Group, signed a 6-month contract with Grisby on the 15th of August. We're in September. Last month on the 15th, they signed a contract with this Grisby guy. According to the new Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARI, filing with the United States Department for Justice, BW partners Jeffrey Birrell, who lobbied for the Liberian government back in the early 1990s, and Alan White, a former Department of Defense employee and chief investigator for the United Nations Special Court for Sierra Leone, are registered as foreign agents on the account. So these are people who are registered as foreign agents for this BW Global Group that was hired by Cummings there to lobby across the world to bring the image of your country down. Now keep moving. BW's goal is to promote good governance and rule of law in Liberia, and according to them, according to the contract with Grisby, in particular through the U.S. promotion of whichever candidate the Liberian Renaissance office ends up endorsing. By the way, the Renaissance office is an ally to the CPP. So they are into it. So in the rest of it here is blah, blah, blah. So Birrell said, now let's move to this other paragraph. Let's get to it. So BW will also be lobbying for the U.S. to get behind the Establishment for War and Economic Crimes Court. So some of the things that they are paying this firm for is to lobby with the U.S. fellow Liberians, is to lobby with the U.S. for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. I repeat, some of the issues So the reason why they are paying this firm is to lobby with the U.S. to put pressure on the U.S. administration to establish the War and Economic Crimes Court, and there are reasons why. We'll tell you. So BW will also be lobbying for the U.S. to get behind the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court to hold accountable those responsible for the civil wars of 1989 to 1997 and 1999 to 2003 as recommended by the Liberian Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The Congressional Tom Latos Commission held a hearing in support of the court in June, while the State Department did not immediately respond to a query about where the Joe Biden's administration stand on the issue. Burrell said, Alexander Cummings, so there's Burrell saying it. Burrell said Cummings has led up with the Leroy because of his support for the court. But a final determination as to which candidate to support is yet to be made. Full stop. I beg your pardon. Bwaka and Cummings, who came in the second and fifth in the 2017 primary, are widely considered the two top contenders to take on President. We are a former footballer, so you have a lot of these other complementary writings. So he said we represent that group as it goes through the process of deciding which of the four current candidates to back. Burrell said, "Why I'd say that Cummings is somewhat of a favorite due to his support for the War Crimes Tribunal. The Leroy is working to determine the best person to run against Weah." So Weah's government has also been quoting Washington. Monrovia has hired 3 U.S. lobby and PR firm. So that's why it is. So let me say this to you, right? This is developing, and we will get you the details. This is developing, and we'll get you the details in subsequent time. But I keep saying this, and today is not going to be the last time I will say it. This tendency of people always fighting to use their influence in the diaspora, especially America, to bring trouble to this country or to put up some desperate political advocacy for the sole purpose of giving them government jobs has never helped this country. There is no record to point that it will help this country. And there is nowhere we can gather hope from that it is the solution to the problems of the Liberian people. No. I still see people going down that same route. To find $180,000 US, not to go bring medicine for hospitals across the country, not to give it to your supporters or partisans in the CPP to go to vocational schools or to give them small business loans and whatever, but to give it to lobbyists for the sole purpose of going to the United States government and other people around the world to tell them, we are here to tell you that Liberia, the only way we can have peace is for you to put pressure on George Weah to set up the War Crimes Court. Their focus is the War Crimes Court. To just find money just for that purpose. And when they go to the kind of functions, you know what they do? They say all kinds of nasty things about the country. Oh, people dying mysteriously. This is happening, this and that. This is happening. And trust me, these people, they've made me to come to the realization and to the conclusion that some of these mysterious attitudes, the mysterious things you can see happening in the country, their action by lobbying with people to go, and not from the positive standpoint, is making me to come to the conclusion that bulk of the mysterious things we see happening in the country, if we dig deeper, and not far from them. Bulk of the bad things you see happening in this country on a daily basis. You wake up, the other one happen. You wake up, the other one happen. You find the other dead body. So if you dig deeper, you will. Their attitude is making me to believe that if you dig deeper, you will not be too far from those who are doing it. So the end result is to go to the United States, go to the foreign partners, and lobby against the country. Now, what kind of model is that? What kind of strategy is this? A country you're supposed to take over? No, let's face it now. Georgia is not going to be president forever. Weah is not going to be president of Liberia forever. CDC is not going to remain in power forever. There will be a day where Weah will no longer be president. There is going to be a day where CDC will no longer be the political party in charge of the country. So when you decide, because of Weah and CDC, to go to America, to go to London, to go to Italy, to go to France, to go to Belgium, to go all around the world and lobby with the people spoiling the country name, creating a negative image of the country, what do you stand to benefit even when you are given a chance to serve? Don't you think some of the things you're putting out of the country, don't you think some of the bad image you're presenting to the world about your country, don't you think it's going to affect you when you take charge? Why allow political desperation to lead you into doing things that will cripple the country? You've done the same nonsense before. You've been able to succeed in stopping people from helping the country for the first 2 years of the Weah administration. You succeeded in doing that. You went to all of the embassies. You went to all of the different firms. You succeeded in stopping people from supporting this country for 2 years in a row. To the extent government could not pay salaries, government could not attend to other stuff. Today, you are lobbying, you are paying money, you're paying $180,000 to a firm in the United States. And you think this is about Weah? And you think this is about CDC? CDC will go tomorrow. George Weah is not going to be president tomorrow. Whatever you're going to do today will have an adverse reaction on you, even when you're in charge of the country. Why are you guys allowing desperation to lead you in doing a lot of stuff? How many times do we have to let you guys know that this issue of war crimes court and the establishment is not something that will be hurriedly done? And the only reason, I repeat, if it means saying this thing on a daily basis so that it resonates, the only reason these guys are bent on this war crimes issue is because they are about to split. Their political strategy they were using to play deceptive or deceptional policy from the top is not resonating with the supporters at the bottom of the ladder in the CPP. So there is some disconnect between the hierarchy of the CPP to the grassroots in terms of the strategy they are using. Initially, they felt that they would send Ure to Bwaka and make Bwaka comfortable. So to the extent where if it is time for primary, the Ure will secretly tell other guys to vote for Cummings. They felt it was what they were going to do. They felt it was a strategy they were trying to employ. But deep down, it is no longer resonating because the people at the bottom of the ladder, they are not understanding it. So because they've realized that their intention or their initial plan to form a formidable force against Weah is not yielding any fruit, so they decide to operate in different form and manner. They decide to go solo in fighting, and in this case, the ANC is making a great fight in spoiling the image of our country. That's what they're doing. You're finding $180,000 to spoil the country name. And you're punching war crimes code here, war crimes code there, war crimes code. The lead advocating the war crimes issue, what is his name in Canada? What is his name? What is this guy name? I don't even want to mention his name. He's an ardent supporter of Cummings. So the intent is, since CPP is not going to hold, since CPP will not hold together as an institution, and I'm about to read you the communication from Liberty Party, by the way, so you know what we're talking. So they've already started to test the ground to see whether they can run as individual political parties against Weah, and at all costs they want to win. So as a way of doing it, they are trying to narrow Weah chances of winning. The way to do it is to tackle the vote-rich places in the country. They've already realized that whether Cummings take gun in K, Ure, Bwaka, Slaughter, Yombly, Slaughter, whoever, they know that even when the four of them sacrifice two and two be on the ballot, they are aware that they can win the southeastern part of Liberia. That's a practical political vote-based analysis I'm making. Right? They realize that even if two were sacrificed, Two will die and two remain on the ballot. They can be we are in Joel in the southeastern part of our country. They can do that nonsense in Maryland, Grand Crew, River G, Sino, Grand G there, part of River Sets. No, it is not possible. They are aware. They are also aware that there is no way they can grab a major portion of Monserrado County. Monserrado is going to be a no-go zone. It's going to be a no man's land. And CDC will take up to 50-60% of the votes in Monserrado. Nima County, that is a major determinant in this process, a major factor in making a determination as to who win the election, is wholly and solely in charge of Prince Yomi Johnson, who is an ally to George Weah. I repeat, Nima County, which is the second most populated county in the country, right behind Monserrado, is in charge of Prince Johnson, who will be contesting as a senatorial candidate in 2023. Prince is not contesting as a presidential candidate. Prince is going to contest as a senatorial candidate in 2023, and it is being reported that he is going to support George Weah in the first round of the elections. So Cummings, the CPP have realized that George Weah and Joel Taylor already got the whole Southeast with them. Prince Johnson being the candidate in Nima County for the senatorial election and a close ally to George Weah, it means the second most popular county in the country is back. Is going to be backing George Weah and Joel Howard Taylor in the process. So that's the whole southeastern part of our country. Let's say 80% of the southeastern part of our country plus 60, 70 to 75% of Nima. They realize that George Weah is going to grab 50, 60, 65, up to 70% of Monserrado. So as a way of trying to put up a serious fight, these guys are paying these lobbyists. I mean, how you call this thing? These firms across the world to lobby against the government, to lobby against the country by putting this unnecessary war crimes thing on our shoulders. All of us in this country know that there is a need that people who are liable of committing serious crimes against the people of our country during the heat days of the war should be made to account. We are aware. We share that same view. But the way they are doing it is politically motivated to the extent that they are paying people to lobby. And the only reason is because they are of the opinion that if they can pay these lobbyists across the world and they pressure them, pressure the US, pressure, France, pressure Great Britain and whatever, once the court is established, it's going to disenfranchise Prince Johnson, who will not be active during the campaign, and that will make Nima County vulnerable. In their mind, once Prince is not around, they can tap into Nima County, they can play dirty politics in Nima, perhaps they can start killing some of the sons and daughters in Nima and blame it on the CDC government and, swear the government, the people of Nima against the government. And in that sense, in their opinion, they may be able to win Nima County, get the Lofa County that has been with them for a great period of time, go to Blount County, wrestle with Joel Howard Taylor, take some of the votes, and see whether it can land them somewhere. That is the only reason why they're doing it. The only reason why you will find any serious CPP member in this country mentioning war crimes code is because they want to get rid of Prince Johnson. They just want to make Prince Johnson a neutral force in the 2023 election. Oh, that today Prince Johnson, that today the guys know about war crimes code. Look at the guys in the CPP. Look at them. Look at United Party. What was United Party position in 2010 as it relates to the war crimes code with the same Truth and Reconciliation Commission's report? The TLC received they released a report in 2010. The eve to the elections in 2011. By then, Prince Johnson was supporting Ellen Johnson Sirleaf with ungrateful Joe Barker. No, but then it was not necessary to have the code established. It was not. In fact, I got the voices of Joe Barker. I got the voice of Cummings. I got the voice of the late Brunskin. I got the voice of Ben Ayuri. I got all of the voices. They vehemently refused to allow the code to be established. In fact, in their opinion, it was unnecessary. They discouraged it in their own tones, in their own wordings. Today, they are paying a firm, an institution, to lobby for the establishment of the code, not because they sincerely and genuinely care for the victims of the war, but because in their opinion, once that code is established, it is going to disenfranchise Prince Johnson, who will now be campaigning to Nimbayans to support George Weah, and that way in their mind, they're going to win the election. That's the diabolical plan they have. So it is not a plan to save the country. It's not a plan, to liberate or to care for the victims of the war. It is a plan targeted, how you call this thing? It's a plan that they've designed that is targeted at Prince Johnson, targeting George Weah to bring him down from the presidency, and making mockery of the people who were victimized as a result of the war. That's what they are doing. And so you find them paying lobbyists, saying all kinds of nonsense. And that's why I keep saying, don't see any dead body and just blame it on anybody. At about this moment, what we're witnessing in this country, the level of desperation we see in this country, especially from these guys from the political institutions, is enough to convince me and to inform me, or better still, advise me not to make a definite position whenever there is a tragic situation in this country. If these people could set up fires, if they could let a fire on the bean roll in this country, if they could pour up, they could burn tires just to send a bad signal. These people can kill people over there, abandon their bodies, and all fingers will be pointed at the government. They can do anything to spoil the image of the country. If they can raise $180,000 to pay a lobbying firm to advocate and damage the image of the country, come on. Today, the Minister of Finance is not in country. The Minister of State is not here. The Mayor of the city of Monrovia is not. Liberia's Information Minister is not here. The guys are in the United States lobbying to ensure that the second phase of the Millennium Challenge program, the MCC program, returns to Liberia. That's what they're doing. It was that program that gave rise to the LEC, how you call this thing, to the hydro, operation. It is that same compact program that gave rise to the replacement of the pipes at the level of the Liberia water and sewer plant in White Plains. A second phase of that project will see a lot of other sectors being captured. The government is currently in America lobbying for those things to happen. There is a green light that, MCC is going to come back to this country, through the indicators that were presented by the government. Why this is ongoing, you have people paying other people to spoil the country name. Now, let's make this thing practical. If you think because, look, and in this case, I'm not seeing any political party. No political party is important at this point. No political party is important to this discussion at this moment. You know why? Because if you think you're doing this thing to get Weah out of power, if you think you're doing it to get CDC out of power, and God help you, you succeed in doing it, or will you stop the other people who will need power from doing the same thing? Absolutely no, you will not do that, right? Now, why if we come to power and the same kind of nonsense you're doing? The same kind of nonsense you're doing. You're lobbying with partners across the world to stop helping your country. You're petitioning embassies across the country to stop helping your country. Why have you come to power and these guys who you are rushing out of power? Oh yeah, well you're rushing Buffalo Chimode out of power. You're rushing Mangilda out of power. You're rushing Koji out of power. So in your mind, when you come to the presidency, in your mind, you think the guys who will sit and allow you to run the government freely? Or you think they don't have money to pay their own frames and lobby against the country? At that point, the country will be headed towards nothing. And that is the point we don't want to reach as a country. That is my concern. And that's why I said from the onset, at this moment, I don't see political party interest. I see one interest, which is the country. No. Let's agree now. Look, if I have my will, we move George Weah in power today. If I have my will today, I said, George Weah, step down. Put the Cummings man in or put the Joe Barker man in. Like Cummings, Barker, you and the other guys will do to give money to funny beginning on Facebook to just write all kind of nonsense about the country, the way they will do and pay, other media people to say all kind of nonsense, write all kind of nonsense story about the country, pay other international firms to say nonsense about the country. If these guys decide to do it, to the same, Bwaka or Cummings administration, you think this country is going to move forward? If these guys will leave power now and start to pay people to burn tires in the street, to make every single thing into a protest, to keep terrorizing the country to the extent that donors and business people will be afraid to come and invest, you think your government will succeed? That is the point we are pushing. This issue of tearing the country down because a group of people not in power should not be the remedy to our problem, should not be the channel. It should not be a trend. This trend should be broken. An attempt to think it is the best thing to do to get to power. What make you think you do the kind of nonsense and the Liberian people are so confused to the point where they'll be misled by your rhetoric and your propaganda and vote against CDC, assuming all of these things you're doing at work and the Liberian people vote against the CDC. What make you think? What guarantee do you have that these guys who will be out of power, that they will not put their resources together to and sponsor small beginning and form ultimate council or nonsense to destabilize the country? What make you think they can do it? What make you think they can terrorize this country like you're doing? Like you've managed to have done in 2 years of the WES administration? What make you think they can do it? So instead of you channeling your issues, instead of you being issues oriented, you resolve to deal with pettiness, to deal with gutter politics, to attack issues that would denigrate the image of our country and bring the image of the country down. Now, when you go to the international community today and say, in Liberia today, when you wake up, you can find dead body. So no dead body, well, we even know who killing. Sometimes it's possible someone you're killing the dead bodies, putting it on the road just to implicate the government. But when you go to the partner and say, wake up in the morning, dead body, wake up so dead body, wake up so dead body. If you say those stuff to the international community and they keep it, you think when you say it to them, they just listen and they go by the business? When you say it to them, they take note, they put it in their diary, they put it in their archive, they save it. Or you think when you come to country, you come to power in 2 years, or in 3 years, or in 4 years, you think when you come to power, those notes will not be visible to the people? Before the business people go to any country to go do business, they check integrated institutions to do their research. What is the UNDP saying about Liberia? What is Oxfam saying about Liberia? What is USAID saying about Liberia? What is the IMF saying about Liberia? What is World Bank saying about Liberia? So when you pay people your 180,000 to spoil the country name to them, to spoil the country name outside there, and the damaging reports on the country will be stored in the people's archive. When you come to power and business people want to come, when they go do research and say, in Liberia, every day people can die. You think they'll come here to support? You think they'll come here to open no companies you think you're promising? You think so? You think they will come here to create the jobs that you will need to enhance the private sector? You think it's going to happen? Why are you desperate for power to the extent that you're crippling the country? You are damaging the country. You are even damaging your chance. Just in case you are given the chance to be president. Just in case you're given the chance to preside over the country. Oh, that because of George we are in power? No. Let me be honest now. No, so I can have a show whole week and beg president we have to leave office. And let's see if you come to power and Liberian people start to give you non-cooperative attitude. Let's see if you're going to succeed. There is no problem in being an opposition community. I always say this to people. As a political commentator, I'm not going to be blind to the facts. There is nothing wrong in being an advocate. There is nothing wrong in being an opposition leader. What is of concern is the fact that you need to match your opposition nature with high level of objectivity. When you become so desperate for the power to the extent that nothing else makes sense to you, then you are not a leader, not even a potential one. And you pay $180,000 to a lobbyist firm, for the firm to do a lot of stuff for you. And you think this is the best way to move the country? Oh, you think you think that you look? Oh, wait, I'm coming. Let's just assume. Let's do this hypothetical stuff. Let's assume right now CDC not in power. No. Let's be honest now. Let's assume CDC is not in power today. Just in Monserrado alone, CDC had 120,000 human beings going to the ballot to vote for Thomas Farah. Yeah, I need my water. This is the assumption I'm making. Let's assume CDC is no longer in power, right? Let's assume. Just in Monserrado, CDC had 120,000 people that went to the pool, saw CDC logo, and still voted for Thomas Farah in Monserrado. Assuming you come to power today, the way whole day you're suppressing George, we are government. When we are bringing another company, y'all go to the pool and tell the people, say, you don't go to the country because we are the president. Just spoiling the country name, just damaging all the bad information you're saying. The way you're doing it now, the way you're going to be organizing protests, whole day you're protesting. Assuming you're kind of power. Well, all the way I say, oh, the country, there's 120,000 people still went and voted for CDC logo with Thomas Farah on it. You think 120,000 people voted for Thomas Farah because he Thomas Farah? They voted for him because there is Georgia attached to him. Right? So now the issue here is, if you come to power and people like us decide not to play nationalistic with the radio, people like us decide not to be patriotic with the discussion and choose to say, okay, you know why? We were supporting George Weah. They ran George Weah out of power. And so we're today, you know, still in the political commentary, but we are no longer in power. We are supporters there. You think we will not sit on radio too and call that 120,000 people to assemble? Or you think we don't have that ability? You think so? So assuming you come to power today, assuming you already do all of this nonsense, you know, lobbying, you succeed in doing it, you get we are in power. We are still gather his supporters who will still be in country, even if you manage to pacify 80% or 20%, whatever percent of them, instabilizing them, you will still have a little over 300,000 to 400,000 we are die-hard supporters spread across the country. You ever give it a thought what will happen when you in power and people like us decide to radicalize that group? You ever give it a thought? No. You ever think about what will happen if the 120,000 people in Monserrado, assuming you come to power, then 60,000 and then say, yes, the new government will support them, and 60,000 decide to be fuck out. They don't want to hear. Have you ever given it a thought what will happen if people like us decide to call that 60,000 out to demonstrate against any bad governance issue that will come up? Because in this country, most of the problem will not always emanate from the leader. People in government will do their own mistake, and that mistake will lead to tension. So what will happen if people like us decide to put that 60,000 people in the street and create high level of instability in this country? And make sure that we do a lot of, you know what's going to happen to the country in the end? Like, people is not going to make progress. That is not what we want. That is not the country we are preaching. That is not the country we envisage. That is not the country we anticipate as a people. And that's why when we are discouraging these things, we say these things because we look beyond. If you continue to do these things and successfully you come to power, it may not be me, it may not be kind. I may choose to look at it and say, look, Liberians made that decision. I may choose to allow it go. I may choose not to fight the next government. Right? What happened to other talk show commentators? What happened to other political commentators? They may choose to rally the defeated population against the government. Now, you know what the country will be heading towards? Damage. You know what the country will be heading towards? Total breakdown. Just the way you guys broke down the country in 2 years. 2018, 2019, and the beginning part of 2020. Just the way you succeeded in crumpling the country for 2.5 years. Why, if you come to power, and other talk show hosts who would choose to just do it, assuming I may choose not to do it, I may even choose to do it, what will happen if we choose to put the angry masses against the government? You think the country will make progress? No, we'll not be patriotic. We'll be suppressing the country's image. We'll be suppressing the country's ability to move forward. That's not patriotic. That's not what you do. If you have freaking damn $180,000 that are struggling partisans within your different constituent political parties, give it to them. Give them school fees. Give them empowerment. Give them some form of micro loans. That's how you change their lives. That's how you show to the people that you mean well for the country, not to pay 1 or 2 American lobbyists to say nonsense about the country, to damage the image of the country just because you're so much in need of this presidency. You're so desperate for the seat. You don't do that to Liberia. If you think it's a political game you're playing, think about the old people who cannot afford. Before you tell the partners not to help Liberia, think about the people who cannot afford across the country. Think about those who are waiting for jobs to open up in the private sector before they can work. There is nowhere the government can provide jobs for all of the citizens. So when you create the conditions that will suppress the government, when you create a condition that will suppress the private sector, you are doing no good to the people. Yet you claim you love them. And you say, well, shut up, we'll not talk about it. Keep on. No, for me, I'm saying keep doing it. If you think it is a country you need, keep fixing the country you want. At about this moment, it is the preparatory stage. The kind of Liberia you will need is what you are preparing. If there is a Liberia you need, keep fixing it. When you come to power, you'll be confronted with exactly what you were saying. Whether it is going to be 2023, whether it's going to be 2029, or the election after. If your actions today will undermine the current system, you will indirectly be preparing a country for yourself where a group of people will continue, because there's going to be a payback scenario. That is the chain we want to break. This thing when we were there, they not get our chance, so we're doing it. All we got to do is so they'll get our chance to get the power. If we don't change that narrative, I beg you, the country will not go anywhere. No, it won't go anywhere. So by the time you leave, or by the time you run out of power, when you come to power, they too, they got some money in their account. They too, while they were in power, they made some friends. They too, while they were in power, they empowered some of their supporters. So whenever you start to put their resources together in the opposition committee and decide to fight the government back, you know what will happen to the country? In the end, Liberia will be sitting in one place crying. In the end, the whole country will be sitting stagnated, no progress. And you think it is funny, right? Oh yeah, you think it is funny, right? You think it is funny? Let me just say this to you. Look, sometimes I go to political party headquarters. The last time I was at the ANC headquarters, I was there up to 30 minutes with colleagues. We talked, we chatted. Liberty Party headquarters, when the headquarters were open, come on, when they were right to Cali Junction, I was always there. You know, Cold Valley, I'll go there. My man and myself sit down and talk. By the time I know, a lot of people want to know, you know what? We already know terrain. I always find time to sit with political people, sometimes around the political. Do you know what I heard from few citizens when I had a chance to visit CDC headquarters recently? Look, when you have the chance to interact with the ordinary Liberians, especially those of them who have membership with these political parties, then you will realize that this tendency of fighting pointlessly, desperately, without objectivity, then you realize that it has to stop. Can you imagine somebody look at me and say, look, okay, all the gentlemen are doing when they come to power, whether that 2023, whether that 2029, whether that 2030 diesel, when they come to power, the thing they do here is small part of what we do. And I told the guy, I said, no. I'm being honest with you. A sedition told me, in fact, there were two. Were sitting somewhere. I said, okay, my man, we can be enjoying that thing and be talking, but all the things when the money come to power, whether that 2023, 2026, 2020 days, 2020 data, when they come to power, all the protesting they say they're doing, they're cheering for protest. All the burning entire thing they're doing, they say they're burning. For all the entire burn, we know what you will burn. When he said that, when the guys were saying that, I said, no, stop. Stop. I don't say the things I say on the radio because your party is in power. No. I say the things I say on the radio because Liberia is at the center of my discussion. Your party was given a chance to lead this country in 2017. Your political leader was given a chance to preside over the affairs of our country as president. And that's why we have George Weah and the CDC-led government. I support it. I support this system because you are in charge of Liberia. Because you're in charge of Liberia. You deserve my support because I want to see Liberia move forward. If you say when the men come to power, this is not the way to do it, they want to do it now, y'all do more than it. Don't do it. Don't say it. I tried to discourage him. I spoke to them. I spoke sense to them that day. I made them to understand. But again, they will come back to me and say, look, okay, we listen to all the things you're saying. But tell them it's fair for our president to come to power. He even made 2 days. He even made 2 months. They start funding protest. They start doing the one. It's fair. We're not getting nobody chance. Whether 10 years or 50 years or 12 years. Now, why am I bringing this discussion to the public? This is a classical example of the kind of mindset people have in this country. So if you think you will do unnecessary stuff to rush a particular system out of power, whether that UP in power, or you think when you rush UP out of power, when the ANC in power, or you think you just create unnecessary tension in the country, unnecessary drama, propaganda, and run it out of office, whether you choose to do it, it is not going to guarantee your success as a political institution. Unless you want to tell me you just want to come to power, get money, and go. No. But if you need to make a mark as a political institution, you should not be doing what you're doing. Because whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be deepening wounds. You're going to be opening new wounds. And by the time you come to power, those same people will come back. Oh, wait a minute. When we're talking about you think that phone we're going to be making? Look how they're picking who in government. Look how they're picking in government. Fellow Liberians. Look at all the guys in government. I mean, bulk of them, they're in the 30s, 35, 34, 36, 37, 33. Young deputy ministers, small ministers, directors. Look at them. Look at the guys in government. Right? Look at the guys in government. Assuming you succeed in removing them from power. Obviously, when you do that, you will not even appoint all of them. You will not get all of them jobs. In fact, you will ostracize them. You will see them not to be politically compatible. So you run the new government. Imagine those guys running into a similar organization you're organizing around here. CDC, CBB Solidarity Brigade. Council of Patriots, the other movement for that one, the movement for that one, bring my own money campaign, the other one, assignment with war crime code, voice from SI, voice from the refugee camp, voice from the ghetto, voice from, imagine the young guys going back with some of the resources they've made. Imagine some of the top ministers, Minister of State, Minister of Finance, Minister of Defense. Imagine those guys going back into opposition, taking some of their money and sponsoring their own political militants to destabilize your government. Oh, that I know some mobile in the country. That I know some mobile. Because it is not going to make sense to the country, it's because it's not going to help the country. It is important we start to discourage that now. That's the trend we are setting. That is our focus. $180,000 using it to lobby against your country, and you think it is the best thing to do, and you think it is the best option, and you take pride in doing it. Are you not tired? We have took over 2018. Muna Farah made us clear. She made it clear to us. Muna Farah, an ANC supporter, she made it clear to us how they were preparing protests ever since. How they started preparing protests 2 months after we had become president. Muna Farah told us. Now, why would you do that? You set us suppressing the government. You created a situation to the extent that the government was so stagnated, the government could not do any single thing. Even salary, government could not pay salary. Some kind of way, thankfully, some kind of way, the government will want to succeed. Today, Salaries are being paid. Street lights going up in different places. A lot of other projects ongoing. And people still passing around lobbying fellow Liberians, paying lobby fees. Paying lobby fees to spoil the image of the country again. I'm trying to search for it. Hold on, I'm trying to search for something. Why will you do that to your country? Why will you do that to your country? And you all are supposed to be people who brag about loving this country. You brag to be people who have serious intention for this country. Why will you do that? No. Why will you want to do that? Let me find it. Let me take my time to find it. Just hold on. Hold on, I want to give you this. Hold on a little bit. I want to give you this. Yeah. Whenever I said it, the same thing we just told you about. The same Alex Cummings, ANC, 180,000 thing they're talking about. When we had took office in 2018, January, February, by March, just 3 months time, Munafara made us understand that they were in America planning how to unstabilize this country. You understand that? Munafara made us understand they were planning. And that was when Costa started organizing that Council of Patriots. According to her, Costa stole the show from them because they were planning it months ahead. Way back. We had just took office. They may not even know how many security he has. We had took office. He had not even gotten to understand some of the rooms on the floor at the foreign ministry where he got in office. When they started planning how to destabilize the country. Listen to Muna Farah. She was clear when she spoke. Listen to her. Listen. She was lambasting Costa at the time. 3 months government when they were in America planning. Now we got 3 years to go. 2.5 years to go to the end of the administration. They are still planning. They are still paying lobbyists. From the beginning, they made the country hard. 2.5 years to go. Now that the country is getting stable, jobs returning small. Just recently, the government signed a deal with ArcelorMittal over $800 million. Over 1,500 to 2,000 jobs will be created. Just as the time jobs starting to come, at the time salary is becoming current, at the time government is making a lot of progress. The last time I read you a whole list of all the projects that will be going on in the different counties. Each county got its own project. Each county got its own project. Every county got a project going on. Just the time the government is about to put things in perspective, they're coming back again to lobby. Yeah, Muna Farah, from the beginning of the administration, yeah.
We'll show you who can pull names. Dara still on Korean. On my ballot. Anybody ask question? Until you were on my ballot. Anybody ask question? When all of them are on when the COP, when STS was planning a protest, June 7 protest for 1 whole year, the Henry Costa were anywhere around.
You listen to her? According to her, there was an institution called SPS that they organized. And by the way, Henry Costa started the Council of Patriots somewhere around January, February, March, April, May, somewhere around April 2018. Started that stuff. And it's in 2018, Muna Farah here telling us that they started planning ever since before Costa could steal the show. Listen to her. Listen to her right here.
SPS.
Listen.
COP when STS was planning a protest, June 7 protest for 1 whole year. The Henry Costa were anywhere around.
So you listening? The whole Henry Costa protest, the June 7 protest, he started playing it from around April, January, February, March. So from around March in 2019. And when you get the calculation clear, Costa and COP started planning their June 7 protest in in March of 2019. March of 2019, he announced it. Munafara is telling us that they started playing it 1 whole year before Costa could announce his own. So a Costa started March in 2019. And Munafara in this video is telling us they were planning SPS. So some kind of SPS, I know some kind of librarian organization together, but ANC people too. They were playing there 1 whole year before Costa announced it. So when you push 1 year back from 2019, it was in March of 2019 when Costa announced it. So from March 2019 backward to March 2018, that's 1 year right there. So from January 2018 to March 2018, so that January, February, March, less than 2 months. John Weah was less than 2 months in office when Munafara started. Yeah, Munafara was on the train. She was on the train. I think she was on the train or in yeah, she was on the aircraft. She was in the plane. That's why you getting the noise in the background. Let the video, yeah. Those of you who are online, so you'll see it. We don't say things that will add the evidence. So Costa started playing the protest 2019 March. Munafara said they've been planning that thing 1 year, 1 whole year before Costa put a model. So when you push 1 whole year from 2019 March, it will give you 2018 March. We are inaugurated January, February, March. They started planning in America 1 year after Costa announced their plan. That's how evil-minded they were. That's how desperate they were to unstabilize this country, to get the country distracted. That's how they were successful in suffocating the president's initial agenda. One of them told me boldly, one tough opposition guy who was my friend, I trust him, I respect him, I would never mention his name. He made it clear. He said, my piggy, from the day we went to Door Committee, where there was no role in the budget for Door Committee, and he instructed Samatue and Mambuto Nyimpam Peace to his arches to do Door Committee role, he said, from that day, our chat room became busy. Our opposition chat room became busy. We started saying to ourselves, if we don't stop this man, that kind of development he picking up. When you go to place and just say, y'all do they want to do it, y'all do they want to do it. He says yes time he will do a lot of good things in this country that will not get a chance to talk. If we don't do something, he will outshine all of us. For those of us who went to school in London, for those of us who went to school in Great Britain to do politics, to do management, to do the other thing, people will not see us as potential leaders. They will start to look at people like we are the next thing that Sam Johnson will say they won't be president in the country. That Wayne Jawaden will say they won't be president in the country because we would have shown a different pattern in leadership. If we don't stop him, the guy told me he's a respectable brother and I would never mention his name. He told me, he said that was the point we drew a line. That was when we started planning. Yeah, Munafara saying the thing. Listen keenly. Her voice, there is noise in the background because she was on the flight. Listen to it. Those of you online when you watch it.
When all of them are going on, when the COP, when STS was planning a protest, John 7 protest for 1 whole year, the Herman Costa or anywhere around. What? Let me get to my Charlie destination place and I'll address the Henry Costa.
You listening? That was when she was true. That was the time she threw jab. That was when she was throwing jab at Costa. Those of you online, when you watch it, I want you to see the video so you don't think we're making it up. You're looking at Munafara, in her mulatto face, bread face, Munafara, ANC supporter, serious strong ANC supporter. Listen to her.
Ask question. When all of them are going on, when the COP, when STS was planning a protest, John 7 protest for 1 whole year, the Herman Costa or anywhere around. What? Let me get to my Charlie destination place and I'll address the Henry Costa.
So you listen to it? So she said when SPS were organizing the protest for 1 whole year, well, Costa. And Costa announced the protest in March. Yeah, between March, April of 2019, he mentioned he announced it. So when I say for 1 year we're doing it before you can put your mother, so I mean we did it 1 year, you were not there. So from the time you put your mother, we're gonna backtrack 1 year. When you backtrack 1 year from the time Costa put your mother, we'll go to 2018 March. Joel, how many more in power? Less than 3 months when they started planning evil. Less than 3 months. Less than 3 months when they started planning evil. You understand that? This is the same thing they are doing with less than 3 years toward the end of his regime. Now, what will happen when you be positive for once? Because when you go to radio, you say we want the government to do the right thing, we want the government to do the one, we want to do this. What will happen when you talk about the right thing without going outside to burn your country down? Because what you're doing is more than putting fire on the country. What will happen? So, like I said, don't think it is a weird thing. Don't think it is a CDC thing. CDC will go today. In fact, CDC may even dissolve tomorrow. President Weah is not here to live for long. He's not going to live forever, as a matter of fact. He will get old. No matter how old you will get, like Nelson Mandela, he will still go one day. Liberia will remain. So if your action will be because of him, because he's president, so you will bring the country down, what happens if he's not president? People got vexed with certain leaders in 1980. People got annoyed with certain leaders in 1979. People got angry. People got desperate for power in 1979, 1980, and the years afterwards. Instead of remaining calm and being positive about the country, they went into chaos. They started doing a lot of unnecessary stuff that got Liberia to where we are today. That up to now, the government is struggling to connect out of the capital cities. Continue using your personal ego, your personal gains, your personal interests to keep the country backward. Continue doing it. Continue. But you know why? I'm not going to say much. I'm certainly not going to say much on this. Let me conclude on a communication that was written by the Liberty Party to the Unity Party, then we take course. Let me conclude. So that's the issue. We will get more information on that lobbying thing. We'll get more information on it. Serious information we're going to get on it. Real information, heavy one. But Cummings, I'm advising you and your ANC, stop doing what you're doing. When you come to power, you're not able to kind of people who are being your opposition. You don't able them. In fact, you're not running the country. You're not running the country for 3 days. You won't do it because there will be no space to do that. No, that's not the country we want. I'm going to read the communication. I hope I have that. I hope I certainly have it. I hope I have that communication in my possession. Just hold on, fellow Liberians. Hold on a little bit. Okay. Oh, God. Let me see. Wow. Oh, just hold on a little bit. Hold on. Okay. Let me go to my gallery 2. Yes, let me go to gallery 2 and try to get it. Yeah, so this one was written by the Liberty Party. It was written by the Liberty Party. So this letter was done on the 13th of September 2021. It reads, Mr. Muhammad Ali, National Secretary General, Unity Party. Dear Mr. Ali, esteemed greetings and best wishes. You're thinking what I'm thinking? I hope the current go over. As per the collaborating political parties, the CPP framework document, the Liberty Party's tenure of leadership ends effective September 19, 2021. Today is September 17. So the Liberty Party, let me reread. As per the collaborating political party CPP framework document, the Liberty Party's tenure of leadership ends effective September 19, 2021. As such, I am pleased to inform the United Party through your good office that Liberty Party is prepared to transition the CPP leadership to the United Party, consistent with Article 9.3, subsection 3 of the CPP framework document. Please let this communication serve as notice and request for the transition. Oh my God. Stop calling me. This is nonsense. Please let this communication serve as notice and request for the transition meeting to be held on Monday, September 19, 2021 at the CPP headquarters, 19th Street, Bisa, Cinco, at about 1 p.m. During this meeting, we will discuss and agree upon the date for the formal turning over ceremony. Best regard, Martin C. Kola, National Secretary General, Liberty Party /CPP. And the CC copy, Ami Moda, Chairman, Unity Party. Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Political Leader, Liberty Party, and Chair, CPP National Advisory Council. Musa Hassan Belete, Chair, Liberty Party, Chair, CPP National Executive Committee. You listening? So Marty Kola, who is the Secretary General of the Liberty Party, on the orders of the rest of the executive members of the Liberty Party, wrote Unity Party through their own Secretary General Mohammed Ali, Mo Ali, officially informing Mo Ali to go and tell Unity Party people that in line with section 9.3, subsection 3 of the CPP framework document, their tenure, Liberty Party tenure, will be expiring on Monday, September 19. So Yombli Kanga Lawrence tenure as chairman of Liberty Party, since she's a female now, she's the chair lady, will be expiring on the 19th. By the way, she and DeLong going to America. Why somebody tell me? I don't know how true is that. But that's not important to the discussion anyway. Let's go back to our issue. Yombli's tenure is supposed to be ending on Monday, the 19th of September, next week Monday. So Liberty Party say, our old man, our daughter, our entertain you over Mo Ali, that Unity Party time to take the chairmanship. The reason for this communication was because, and is because, the four political leaders went to Calabash. The bought King Jews, sat down on the King Jews table. And without regard for the Constitution, their own framework document, they unilaterally extended the tenure arbitrarily. You know, the legal people good at, overly describing the words. Extended the tenure of Yombli without consulting the National Executive Committee or other ranking members of the CPP. So the Liberty Party said, no, that one you did. You're on your own, but we're not responsible because you took that decision at Calabash where they can sell liquor. So apparently you guys are under some influence. I'm paraphrasing as a political commentator. That is not what they wrote. But I got a right to paraphrase now. Yeah, I have my right to paraphrase. The only thing I need to do is just say I'm paraphrasing. Simple. Put out that disclaimer. You vest that. So the guys went and extended Yombli tenure. So they I go. When you establish an institution not because of ideological similarities, but because of hate, envy, jealousy, and political desperation, that the kind of fitija you can see. That the kind of tabata you can get associated with. That the kind of nonsense you can be confronted with. So in this case, the other party is not telling the party that you think you're on yourself playing trick. All the things I just read to you in B-book, I'm trying to simplify it, put it in simple English so it will resonate with our people. So the other party tell the party say, all I think you're on that trick where you're doing trick, you're playing trick, you're doing that one. Joe Parker will be chairman for CPP that he time. Whether he contesting in December for the Senate position, Joe Parker will be chairman of CPP. Joe Parker will be chairman for CPP. Whether Joe Parker battery finishing, yeah, that's what you got pacemaker. Pacemaker at the battery what they can put in my heart. That what Joe Parker using. You know me say here say, wait, me find your own voice so I can think say I lie on him. I hate to lie on people. Lying is not in my DNA. It is not. Yeah. So why Joe Parker battery finish? Why the pacemaker battery finish? Joe Parker got to be chairman. You know the reason why the party put in an argument? Naturally, the reason why you put pacemaker in your heart is because, right? You get pacemaker in your heart, I get pacemaker in my heart. When the fire gun rest on you, boom. You're jack small. Your heart cost small. But your heart cost small, it can kill you. Your heart cost small like that. You can just jump on and, your heart cut and you drive it down. No, it's not possible. Because you normal, your heart, beating correctly, everything okay with you. But when the way you sit now, your fire going boom, all cut your boss, boom, then you go off. It means your heart hanking, your heart not good. So the only way you can die soon, they gotta carry you to America, the Racing Hospital, where they get Joe Parker, open your heart and pull that iron inside with the battery there. Call it battery pacemaker. When they put it there, when you receive unusual sound, something happen, boom, boom, something sound, boom, yeah, something sound, unusual sound. But it doesn't happen if your heart won't cut where you fall down straight, you die. The pacemaker will suppress all of the different things connected to your heart and thing. It will suppress it and make your heart to beat correctly. So because when the heart go off, you die. By the time the heart go off, you in coma, from coma, you wrapping up. So by just unusual sound or some kind of stress, knock you down to the extent where your heart won't call out for you to wrap it. The pacemaker now will be the one to be pumping your heart good so your heart can come back to normal. That iron where they put it with the battery, they call it pacemaker, that will be pumping it. When you bring your heart to normal, then when your heart set now, then you move it again, you correct. When the fire another way again, you jack again. Then the pacemaker will pump it, you bring it back. That's what if Joe Parker had. So then when the party is saying to Joe, the party, although the party got battery in your heart, although you're saying you got battery in your heart, you don't want to be chairman because I want a chairman position where we can get plenty of noise can be inside. So now you'll be sitting there, and that person can read you and say, oh, chairman, somebody stand our document around. Oh, chairman, somebody change our CVP framework. Chairman, the other people stealing. Chairman, causing all. So because the party ain't want Joe Parker to go through stress. Because the more you go through stress, that the more the battery will start finishing, the battery will start getting weak. And when the battery get weak, you know the end result. I don't want to talk it. So the party been dodging the whole chairman position. Dodging it. They want Parker to tell you because they want to put him under pressure. When you got Oka, you can carry in the mud. Let me ask you. When you got Oka, you can carry Maryland Road. Me ask all of you. You got Oka, you can carry Maryland Road. You can carry Lofa Road. You can able. Except you have feeling with it. Except you have feeling with those roads. Yeah, they get a contract from Ghana to Sagrepi. That one on Banga the Menkoma is already on. So except we have feeling with around 2022 any part or 2023 beginning part because we will get Oka on the highway then. But when you got Oka, you can carry on Bar Road. So the party don't want to take raise with Baka. They want to make him chairman before he start getting pressure soon. Campaign already got his own pressure. So they want to bring unnecessary pressure to Joe Baka because of the CBB nonsense. Nothing can be on it. So the party have been standing their ground. They said, no, Baba, you're not be chairman. Don't be chairman. Don't accept it. They want your budget to finish quick. They want to put you on a lot of pressure. Liberal Party too said, no. Your time is over. On Monday, we have a meeting, 19th Street. It is that 19th Street meeting we meet and we decide what time we turn your document to you. That Joe Baca time to preserve. That Joe Baca time to receive our complaint too. The same way Yombi was sitting down all by ourselves, they want thinking how she and they don't come and go by America. Then your Belinda, you can't tell us somebody temper will see you with free document. All that pressure you put Yombi on her time or on next week Monday. Joe Baca will take over. So we decide on Monday when Baca will take over. Now you see what happening when you see what can happen when your era is gone, when your time finished, and you still want to force it to come back. For God, you have a segment. You bring Baca here one-on-one, you ask the Papa tired. Real life, you ask Baca will tell you he won't be in the thing. But there are sons and daughters, people who are around Baca, who see themselves, who think that the only way they can survive is through the Baca presidency. And so even when Baca is old and fragile, even when the Papa's desire is to just eat his tobagi, his tobashoe, his kuma, and they give him food now. Even when his desire is to just eat the tobagi, the solar, and just live and just relax himself to a rehab era and just sit there and listen to all Gizi music. Even when that is what he want to do, these guys will pressure rising and tell you, no, Papa, that through you I'll be minister, that through you I'll be defend this, that through you I'll be director. So even when they will put him in Kosu on a Hassan, when instead of being short trouser and let's share in a breeze blowing him, they will be passing him around, putting him on Facebook and doing selfie. The Papa of vice president, you're not taking selfie picture there. You want not too more on Facebook thing. Well, where the whole country needed to hear from him on critical issue. You want not on Facebook today when you're going buy food, more Ali will forcing all day to taking picture with him in playing Lulu. Forcing the Papa. So when I say see the Papa, you're forcing in the politics thing, you're forcing he will be chairman. He must be chairman. So the Liberal Party wrote officially through Matikola. Yeah. They wrote it through Matikola and they told him, Papa, it is your time to serve as chairman. Whether you like it or not, you chairman. Whether you like it or not, you chairman. Oh man, you'll be chairman, you'll preside. And watch it. By the time Bagateo, that time plenty of complaints will start coming. And I'm finna tell you, Tina, that pacemaker, that battery, the more complaint you receive, the more it work. The more low you put on the car, and the more the car on the car can start getting power. So if you can say a car break. They know the parliament and they're bad. They want to break Joe Baca down. That's what they want to do. They want to break Joe Baca down. Bad party. But let me say no. Joe Baca himself said he's using pacemaker when he appeared on Team Majara show. Listen to it.
I have no heart surgery. I have no heart disease. Around, I did go to a hospital. What? Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that.
You hearing Baca? Yeah, he said initially he had no heart disease, he had no pressure. Joe Baca said from the beginning, he had no pressure, he had no heart disease, nothing, he had no complication. But later on, he decided to go to the hospital because after the campaign, there was a pressure for the campaign. So I want you to listen to him, take a time and listen to Joe Baca. If I'm start saying he's using pacemaker, and I'm saying it. Listen.
I have no heart surgery. I have no heart disease. Around, I did go to a hospital. What? Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that.
You listen to him? Why did he say he had to go to the hospital? Listen. Baca tell you the reason why he said he had to go to the hospital? Oh man, tell them why you went to the hospital.
Beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that. And yes, I went to the hospital.
Okay. So he will tell you exactly why you went to the hospital. Tell them why you went to the hospital.
Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that. And yes, I went to the hospital.
No. Come back, Ome. Come back and tell them why you went to the hospital. Why you went to the hospital, Baca? Ome, tell them why you went to the hospital.
Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that. And yes, I went to the hospital.
What? Want to do your physical, right?
Pardon?
You want to do your physical.
They're a
checkup.
pacemaker.
You hearing him? So Tima Jale to the bar of it. You know that Tima Jale that Cummins man. Tima Jale Alexander Cummins man. Alexander Cummins Ryan nigga. Eh? So Tima Jale just set the whole pen in the key for Bwaka. Hey, you wanna do what? You wanna do your physical? He said, no, I ain't gonna do physical, I go do pacemaker. More Ali Kuna. Hey, Mo Ali didn't do no, that time Mo Ali was going through a situation that he couldn't handle. So I don't think Mo was available to coach Bwaka. Oh, Bwaka shouldn't have answered this question the way he did. Bwaka openly said he didn't go to do physical, he went to do pacemaker. Read about pacemaker. Pacemaker, that engine, that engine just watch battery what they can put in your heart for your heart to beat normal.
You want to do your physical.
They're a
checkup.
pacemaker. Yes.
Okay.
You want to do your physical? He said, yeah, pacemaker.
Yes.
Listen, what you want to do?
Do your physical.
They're a
checkup.
pacemaker. Yes.
Okay.
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90.
Self-destruct
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90. He is not talking. He said, people with pacemaker have lived up to 90. Listen.
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90.
self-destruct sequence.
Okay. People with pacemaker have lived up to what? Listen.
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
So, on the show, we can tell, on the show, anything we talk here, we get evidence. When on the show, anything I talk, yeah, and I get evidence, don't believe me. No, you're not going to show where you just talk something, no evidence. I told you about Bonafara, play a voice. I Joe my own voice, yeah. Pacemaker, it ain't hard. And why did he go to do pacemaker? Why did he go to Planet? Because of the pressure. And when you listen to him himself, but I gotta tell them why you go put machine in your heart. Tell them why you put machine in your heart.
Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign, and all of that. Yes, I went to hospital.
What?
Yeah, you saw. I come Okay, Uncle Joe, for the last time, I about to go take calls, right? So Uncle Joe, tell us oh my God. Okay, I think I got small time to take call. Yeah, Uncle Joe, tell us for the last time before I go take calls. Why did you put battery in your heart? Now, let what the party people now will force you, to go be chairman. Why you put battery in your heart? Tell us.
What? Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign, and all of that. And yes, I went to hospital.
So put pacemaker in your heart.
What?
You want to do your physical, right?
Pardon?
You
want to do your physical?
They're a pacemaker.
Pacemaker.
Yes.
Okay.
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90.
Self-destruct sequence.
We ask you how many years people with pacemaker can live up to. We didn't ask you that. We just want to know why you put pacemaker. You already told us that because of the pressure. So because of pressure, the man put battery in your heart. These Labour Party people are wicked. So look at the man who put battery in your heart because of pressure. So look at men who put battery in your heart because you're afraid of pressure. Then you look at it and say, man, can be chairman of CPB. Where get noise? Who they Costa causing so? Fubi they causing so? Mama Cassie causing so? Terrain, everybody causing. To look at that kind of terrain. Liberty Party, see that kind of terrain. Boom, then you go chunk Bwaka there. They already told you why he put battery in your heart because of pressure. Then you want to be chairman from. No, look at how much chairman only the man running over here. Who want me to be president? Who want kill the baby? Look at the way disturbing we are. Then you made Joe Biden president. People are on radio. What we decide, we say, look, every single thing we want check it from start to end, and we'll suspend it, we'll put it in the street. You know what? If you do the Biden right there, I still free now. We take calls 086 500 104 086 500 104. The numbers to join us locally. For those of you out of the country, join us on +231 770 245 782 +231 770 245 782 to be a part of the conversation. This first person, go ahead. Don't introduce yourself. Let's just hear you. Let's hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. No time for intro. Let's hear you.
Okay. I think you forget the money that the people spend, that is spending to bring President we are a government down. It's plenty too much. How about I'm gonna get there. Get 10,000. They get there. To bring President we to bring down. So that the similar thing that people are doing. That the similar thing that people all day. You can remember I told you. I said they killing and see in the street. By all means, the people want to become president. So they want to do it to kill people in the street. So they can say, President, we are a government killing people in the street. So all they killing is in the street are the people doing it. Nobody wants to bring President. We are there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there. 86500-104 are the numbers to join the conversation. 086-500-104 are the numbers to join the conversation right here. Let's free the line now. The lines are freed up. It's time for you to put in your calls to these numbers. Let's go to this person. Okay. Are they available? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Hello? Hello? Okay, this person. Hello? 1 minute, let's hear you. Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll leave you and take this other person. Hello? Go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah, my man, we all can you.
We're great.
My man, we will not enjoy freedom from. Yeah, I will feel bad.
We are back now. We had to give you the weekend. I was tired, but I had to come today.
My man, you know, kumi, we just watching them, my man. Anything they do, just watching them. But some more, letting our women will go for us taking the warfare hours, but we'll go for us taking will come for them.
No. We're not reaching to that level. Thank you. We'll leave you and take the person. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
1 minute, my brother. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Alexander. I call from New Georgia on the Carver Road.
New Georgia. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to add to what you said as it relates to the issue first, the issue with the killing around.
Mm-hmm.
We have like experience in Greece just last year or something. The opposition of the state, manslaughter, armed robbery, hijacking, terrorism. Let people go and find out on Google. All of them were put in jail because one man was found guilty for crime. Mm-hmm. And that man related everything to the government today. He's in jail for 13 years, 18 years, 20 years. And then the issue of this so-called CPP going around to embassy, they have failed. It has not failed, so we have not enjoyed the support. 20 people early could leave the presidency. The American Senate agreed that Labrador was going to receive $5 billion in post-reconstruction. And that money will only go to any president who meet the benchmark and just receive $5 billion plus, $6 million plus, because he reached the benchmark of good governance, accountability. So they just do that thing. They go to any embassy, they get nothing there. So the only way they can do it is to carry protest. Like he said, so the investor can come to Labrador. Lastly, the progressive was very instrumental in making sure that people like you people are on radio today, because the power will be that time. Never wanted that the reason why they did not even of running for the city of run for mayor for Morovia. Because why? Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, brother. We'll leave you right there. Let's take this other question. Go ahead. Hello. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you,
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. William Debbie Wuru, member of the National Response and Defense Team.
Go ahead, William.
I came from Kawa. Thank you very much. No, we said in Bazawia is a true patriot of this soil. Because there's a man, even 2011, the man said, my people, they're going to be kind. Nobody will go on the street. We won't want bloodshed until my regime can be peaceful. Mm-hmm. And you make gain power. I know whatsoever. When power peacefully, the same people pick up. The same thing. The 300 family members still want to turn the country into a thing that we don't understand it. And they was not having this coming around. Because they are can't do the only one that happen. And person will be the last person that will come on. All the things they're doing, I know God will reveal that secret every day and every night.
Okay.
So, we want to go back to rebel activity. Because when they try to do it, they think 2020 the kind power. So we will be doing rebel activity.
No.
Yeah, we want to
No, that's what we discouraging.
We are, and you live long. All Mauritania will come day by day as they pay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll leave you and take this other person. Hello, go ahead. Hello. Let's hear you, sir. Go ahead. Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Melvin Chichi going to phone in from Peace Island this evening.
Go ahead, Melvin.
Yeah, you see, KOK, that is why we tell the Liberian people, I want to speak directly to the questions of the Liberian people right now. We tell the Liberian people that these opposition leaders are not having any love at all, 0% love for Liberia they have. Like, if you can pay a lobbyist 180,000 plus, why can't you look for somewhere where a bridge is not connecting another community and try to use that fund and do something for the benefit of the people? But you are only bent on destroying the people of Liberia and the George Weah-led government because he said never, he would never, and he overcame those hurdles and became. Now let me talk to the opposition leaders directly. We know they already don't have love for Liberia. That's an established fact. And that love, that 0% love they had, that's why George Weah flogged them 14-1. If I give you 14-1, you are no match for me any day. They can pass 10 years, 12 years, you are no match for me. And why will Waka and the CPP think that the Liberian people will put somebody in power who is using battery? Do you want a short cycle left? Okay, thank you for the show, man. Liberian people already know better, and they see the development the government is carrying on. We only urge our government to be steadfast, and I want to thank our delegation for the positive result in the United States.
Okay, thank you.
Right?
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll leave you. We'll take the other person. Go ahead. Let's hear you. Hello.
Good evening, KOK.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Sana, 220 to member of we are proprietor.
1 minute, no time.
Yeah, we told those people that they get came out. You usually say on the video that like our people friendship. Yes, people get pretend they are good picture. Those people get came that so that we will have pressure, will forget about your agenda. Also, for me, I classify them as a pressure group. They are not political party.
Okay.
Those are pressure group.
Thank you. We'll leave you. We'll take the other person. Hello. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, and we're trying to listener this evening. My name is Johnny Tama, calling from Buchanan.
Go ahead from Buchanan. Let's hear you, Tamba.
Yeah, my brother, thank you very much. You know, I listen to the recording. You know, the people want to use our money to just enrich themselves more and more again. Because Joseph Baga using battery, I listen to the recording.
Okay.
Joseph Baga using battery, you say you want to be president, then the chairman where you refuse it, president where you do.
Okay, thank you.
Almost like you want to be using money going to hospital every time. Those are the things they want to be doing to us. Yeah, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll leave you and take the other person. Hello, go ahead.
Good evening, I'm Amos. People from Caldwell.
Amos from Caldwell. Go ahead, Amos. Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you so much for the show, and I'm also call you for it. If the analysis you made or the report you gave concerning the bribery of $180,000 United States dollars to kind of destroy the image of the country, if that is true, then it raises a question to me or against the people of the CPP that what do they benefit in terms of moreover by the day exposing their ignorance and their limitations?
To make we are unpopular.
Because the people to whom they are doing those things, for which they are paying lobbyists, the people are educated people. They went to school and they brought out documents and they brought out education, which is the information. They didn't come out with only people like them. So you don't want to tell an American embassy to say, oh, this is the wrong thing you should do. The people themselves can read between lines. Now American agents or national agents are present in the central bank that we said 13 billion or 15 billion lost from. All those things have been put in place. So they are not people that you play on. In fact, the European Union released a statement against the press of Liberia that the way the media system goes in Liberia, they are not satisfied with it. And I think you can remember that. So are not people that you can play on. They are not Liberians that you can play on.
Okay.
They are people who went to school. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you and take the other person. Go ahead. Let's hear you. Quickly.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Carl. This is Washington Soup. I come from this hill.
Go ahead, Washington. 1 minute.
Let me say thank you for the discussion, but let me say that it is already late. And thank God, after President, we are 12 years, we will not have a peace ambassador Georgia as standard bearer of the CC anymore. So the foundation of the CPP already laid for this country. I'm a 10 for you to come to power. I'm sorry. Even if you decide to support them in the interest of Liberia, we will not listen to you. What they did to us will be out there.
No. That's not how we should proceed. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to discourage.
This country belongs to everybody, but if some people want to behave that they don't have time for the country, or because they want to get in power, we will not allow them to be in power too.
Okay.
Until everybody can come to one conclusion and believe that Liberia comes first, the way they create strong will dance it that way.
We'll leave you right there, my brother. Let's take the other person. Hello, you see what I was saying? Go ahead, let's hear you.
My name is Jerry Jara. I'm from my Oro resident.
Oro, Jerry, go ahead, sir.
I want to schedule the issue I have with Joe Human Banker.
Yeah.
He said it right. He said it probably is tired in the rest. But we got some guys around like Mo Ali. Won't be tired the weather again.
you said you want the pumping what is?
It's tired, you know, it's tired and you rest on the ground.
Oh yeah.
So the pumping is tired and the go by the presidency. But all we can say to them, there is no shortcut to the presidency. Before winning the presidency of this country, definitely people of Liberia are to choose you as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice to Joe Biden, let him remain resting. Or that he go to the final rest. Thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you and take this person along. Go ahead.
Good evening. And good evening to the people of most of our country.
Peter McCauley, quickly, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Oliver. I reply to you and the donor in the country. Thank you very much for the connection.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me say this. You see, somebody who told us once, the former president, I think he was the chair of the group of 72nd, right? So it means that the group of 72nd there is no body. Because he told us before that he left alone. He told us that he is a person that left alone to the 12 years. So it's so unfortunate for people, the former vice president, political Zakia, to be coming out to the Liberian people that he wants to be or become a president in the country.
Although,
let me say this to them.
Although he's living on battery.
Yes, although he's in that place. Yes. The man is the battery. Actually, the man, let me say this. That man will blow that chairmanship of the CPP. You cannot carry the free one document say that the chairmanship will be,
rotational.
One party to another party. In 8 months. Then you turn and they say you want it. You will take it. And let me say all citizens and citizens. Let us remain focused. Let us remain focused on the developmental parameter and excellence that the town electricity we are.
We'll leave you and take the other person. 1 minute. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello, Oliver.
Your name and where do you join us from?
Mohammed Sayan calling you from Brother Yellow Flower.
Go ahead, sir, from Broadville.
Yeah, Oliver, thank you for the topic on the discussion. The reason I have no other station to listen to besides this station, because whatsoever information is station but always provide all evidence for it. They always provide evidence for it.
Oh yeah.
And you see Bwaka, I personally from Lofa, but whatsoever our people telling Bwaka to do, he will not always go by and he let people to control him. This is why he believes.
But he listened to the man himself. He said he living on pacemaker. The ordinary name that battery.
Yeah, and after the plan the people having. Even making all the honor saying that they not even love our country. If he can declare Bwaka to be a standard bearer now for 2023, then you're going to carry it. If possible, because we know that he can win. If possible, he wins. So where would you be?
Yeah, they'll just put somebody who they want to be president, rest up Bwaka as running mate. Yes, so by the time mistaking it, God forbid, Bwaka dies maybe 1 or 2 years after the election, boom, that person come out, then they take their country back. That's the game.
Oliver, the book say we will vote against it. Will repeat 2017.
We leave you right there.
Thank
you. We leave you and take this other person. Go ahead. Your name and where do you join us from? 1 minute.
Thank you very much. Okay. My name is Eugene S. Jomo Jr. I call you from Capital Bypass District this evening.
Go ahead, Eugene. Quickly. No time.
Thank you so much. okay. Look, our people are very committed. They are very serious relative to the progress Georgia has made. If you do a holistic analysis, you're going to realize that Georgia has performed, instead of, his deliverable, at the presidency compared to any other president in less than 4 years. So you can do all your things. You have served this country for 42 years. We cannot see any tangible. And there's also all continue to ask the question as to whether you have a career as former vice president, whether you did accounting, you did economics, you did geology. These are things that even if you retire from the public sector, you can go to the private sector and still contribute to your country. But this vice president has not told us what you learn. Whether to be president or to live on taxpayer money. And Liberian people are now, Liberian people are just serious now, because it's their how they can support George Weah to ensure that what he started for the past 4 years to continue it, and 2029, George Weah will be one of those persons that will inform the Liberian people that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that. And yes, I went to hospital.
What?
You went to do your physical, right?
Pardon?
You went to do your physical.
They're a pacemaker. Yes.
Okay.
People with pacemaker have lived up to 90.
Self-destruct.
Okay. We leave you right there. We take this other caller. Hello. Go ahead.
Hello, okay.
Let's hear you, ma'am.
This is my CC. I'm calling from Clara Town.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I want you to cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
You made your analysis. I listened to you. I started sharing tears. But what could be there in the country? The country, they cling to law. That they are going all over the place to bring the government image to the to the altar war. But let me promise you, okay. I'm telling you, I'm the country from Grand Crew County. My CC police. And it's Musa D. That's very a police for us. Because what goes around, comes around. It's a thing that can just want the government are in power today. And they feel that they are good for them. They don't consider this winning. But after Jonathan win, whether you win or you not win, I pray that they might win or they might win. Let me say consider to prepare the police for us, win the sedition. Because I will be the forefront of that protest. We will not get that peace. And we will not relent for them. They don't continue. We stay with job where they think they can do that. They can make them government to go in dream. Or God is dream, or what is putting them in dream. And once you also continue to come to power, because they are power free. Musa Dio get all the control in the country.
But how sure are you when CPP come to power, they were put Musa Dio as Johnson minister?
What they were saying, because it will get in the street of protest, you will say the police will come and speak for us.
Okay.
Because when they also go protest, you can't say for the go be can protect them. But after what time, when they get back to get in power, if we get in the street, let's better to prepare us between the street. We will ready for them. We will not relent.
We leave you right there.
We will not relent. I'm actually saying it.
We leave you and take this other person. Go ahead 1 minute. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, okay. This is my name of the intellectual lines of that viewer.
Go ahead.
Let me appreciate this so much for a topic of discussion. Can I get my attention at the June to this opposition? You see, at the time Madame Seri was in power, for you was too much in the country, more than at the time President we are in power now. So you can say when boyfriend go kill a girlfriend and a president we have to wait for money wishes. When girlfriend kill a boyfriend and a president we are. So I think that doing this to make our president to be more popular than the way he is. Thank you for the opportunity.
We leave you right there quickly and squeeze in a lot of other calls here on 87.9. My name is Kai. I'm going to be here on Monday. In continuation of the show, Alexia and I will be here. But this is what it is. Bwaka himself, without being coerced, on Team Majorada show, there was air conditioning in the studio. He had his supporters around him. Everybody was around when he said this to the Liberian people. Let's take this caller who come back. We'll play you what he said. This question. Hello.
Good evening, Kai. This is God's Help.
God's Help. Good evening, my brother. Let's hear you, Chief.
Thank you. Okay. CPP folks have proven beyond all doubt to the Liberian people how desperate they are to attain state power at their detriment, going the extra mile to pay people to go and publish or paint a bad image of this country and this government to the international community. I don't think it's a good thing. And I want to admonish those people who have voted for them over time that if they claim to be Liberians who love this country, and hearing of these kinds of machinations on the part of the CPP operators, they should have a second thought that if they take power to these people, they will come to realize that they made a mistake that can never be reversed.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. We'll leave you right there and take this person. Hello, go ahead.
How are you?
We are great, sir. Your name and where do you join us from, Chief?
Thank you very much. I'm King Richard Slaw, calling from Iron Factory, Seti, brother.
Seti, brother, go ahead. Richard, you are the last person on the line.
Thank God. My brother, I listen to the former vice president. I mean, there is no strength in the public voice. Yeah. What happened? The Honorable Blanca just left out. And I even take 2 years for him to come back. I don't understand that part. He just fighting to come back immediately. No, man. At least the people, you must rest yourself. Even though we have other people that want to come to power, they have to come through you because you have the popularity. According to them, you have all the contacts and you can pull the crowd. We all agree. But they shouldn't put you under local attention, man. Yeah. So at least I want to talk to Mo Ali then. Get to start putting pressure on the puppy, man. Puppy rest in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let make this exception and take this our brother. Lawrence Spencer is a partisan of the ANC. Go ahead, Lawrence. Good evening.
I appreciate you at least for giving me this opportunity.
There is an exceptional chance.
Yeah, certainly. And I more than agree with most of what you said. That in Amosomo, we are in opposition. We shouldn't damage the country, right? By our passion. But another thing I really want to agree with is for you to totally blame the failure of this government, the opposition.
No. Hello.
Listen, 1 minute, right? Please, you have the time to respond to me, right? I listened to almost 1 hour plus analysis of you, and all you keep mentioning. You're protesting, you're winning time. I don't look at Donna Sion, for example.
No, but listen, it don't lie.
So some of these things have been right. I'm not denying the fact, but again, what I'm saying here, you in your analysis, I didn't see anywhere where maybe you say, oh, there's a president, you yourself, why the truth we are condemning some of the action for the opposition people. But for example, the complaining on men as Donna Sion, the one that say, well, I don't see the need for you to reinstate that man because of friendship. For example, somebody run by Kyori, we agree. We don't know who causing these things.
So fine. So listen, I'm giving you.
The police to do investigation. Let us know the depth of these things. So, but for you to take almost 2 hours to share all the people, the opposition community, and make it appear that kind, that's the point I don't want to agree with.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. But I think we should be somehow balanced. Why they sue some of the actions from the opposition is not fair. I'm an opposition man. But on the other hand, the government cannot say a forward hand and start to point the blaming finger at the opposition because law and order right now is that they're not spreading the hell, Mr. Why can't he emphasize on some of the wrong that people going to stop?
Okay, thank you.
People doing other things.
Thank you very much. So we'll leave you right there, my brother. I like the way you and I will begin with you on Monday. I hope you will listen. But again, that's the beauty of democracy. He's an ANC supporter. I'll allow him call. I will not counter all of what he said. He's entitled to it. We take a break to return. But listen to Bwaka himself telling you why he put battery in your hat.
Because I found out that there was a lot of pressure beginning with the government, with the campaign and all of that. And yes, I went to hospital.
What?